Hello everyone, I'm Samuel Johnson, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. And considering the time of year, I figured that it was time that I regaled you all with a classic Christmas story. I am of course referring to How the Thief King Stole Slavemas by Martin LittleKuriboh Billany. I hope you enjoy, and to LittleKuriboh, I apologize if I mispronounced your name. The Pharaoh of Egypt loved Slavemas a lot, but the Thief King who lived north of Egypt did not. The Thief King thought Slavemas smelt really quite fishy, as he stood in a manner that made him look bishy. He grumbled aloud, "Why, there's nothing more rude than forcing your people into abject servitude." And then it occurred to this wretched man that he could stop Slavemas, and he had just the plan. The Pharaoh awoke the very next day, wearing an outfit that made him look handsome. He stood at his window and gazed at the sight of his people in awe, though most were in fright, for they knew his approach could mean only one thing: they would soon have to polish his millennium bling. "Merry Slavemas," he cried for each of them to hear, "may this one be even more fun than last year. For soon you shall each in bondage be placed, and no, not like that, wipe that smirk off your face. For the bondage you'll feel isn't nearly so funny. You'll do all my chores, and won't get any money." The Egyptian throne let out a sigh, and everywhere babies started to cry. You see, Slavemas was fun for only one man, the Egyptian pharaoh who looks good with a tan. But just before the guards could make their move, the Thief King stepped forward with something to prove. "What good are your slaves if they've nothing to clean?" He scowled at the pharaoh, for he was really quite mean. "While you were asleep, I cleaned out your home. I even took your solid gold garden gnome." Indeed, it was true. He had done as he claimed. Said the pharaoh, "If this weren't a children's story, I'd have you maimed." The Thief King laughed, thinking he had won the day, but the pharaoh wouldn't let some jerk have his way. And so now, since his royal throne had been taken, it seemed Slavemas was to be all but forsaken. However, the pharaoh knew a solution that would foil the Thief King's attempted retribution. "From this day forth," the pharaoh happily declared, "no citizen of Egypt shall have reason to be scared. Slavemas is cancelled. Yes, you heard me right." And all at once there was a cry of delight, though short-lived, for the pharaoh continued to say, "People of Egypt will have Slavemas every day." A hush fell against the gathering crowd, as the sound of the pharaoh's voice became loud. "Until my palace is refurbished anew, no Egyptian goes free, not even you." He pointed to a child about 5 years of age. "And believe me, you'll wish you got minimum wage." The Thief King saw things had grown out of hand, as widespread panic swept over the land. But he was powerless to stop the pharaoh's royal guards. After all, they'd yet to invent dual monster cards. And as the pharaoh relished in his ungodly might, he laughed, "Merry Slavemas to all, and to all a good night."